Right now on KREM 2 News at noon, a new development in the battle over TikTok. The company is now suing over a law that could lead to its ban in the United States.
Well, we have fair weather skies on this slightly warmer day today, but we're tracking near summer-like temperatures by the weekend.
And the Coeur d'Alene prosecutor's office says there will be no charges after a man yelled a racial slur at a group of college basketball players. Why they say there isn't enough evidence to charge anyone, despite the fact the man confessed to it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. Thank you so much for being with us. Coming in new at noon, social media platform TikTok is suing the United States government over a law that would ban the app. The law requires TikTok's parent company, which is based in China, to sell the platform within 9 months. TikTok and parent company called ByteDance called the law, quote, obviously unconstitutional. They portray the law not as a ban, but as a way to regulate TikTok's ownership. Washington Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers was a vocal supporter of the law. She called TikTok a, quote, tool of the Chinese Communist Party and raised concerns about the data that they collect. Also, we are tracking a new development in a local story that made national headlines. The Coeur d'Alene City Prosecutor's Office decided not to charge the man accused of yelling racial slurs at the Utah women's basketball team. 2 months ago, the team called police, saying someone yelled racial slurs at them while in Coeur d'Alene for the March Madness tournament. The team was so upset the NCAA moved them from their hotel in Coeur d'Alene to a hotel in Spokane. In the days after, we spoke to the Coeur d'Alene NAACP, and they say North Idaho has not done enough to combat racial bias.
The racial bias is so intense. None of the organizations that say they stand for civil rights in our community will even collaborate with me or my organization.
The prosecutor's office explained their decision not to prosecute in a 6-page document. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez read through those documents and has more on the decision.
The deputy city attorney says after weeks of investigating, there's not enough evidence to charge anyone in this case. He started by outlining what police found while investigating. They say there was some surveillance video of a few trucks driving by loudly, but not of anyone yelling the N-word on their walk to dinner that night. The reports say there were 5 people who saw it happen, but they couldn't give enough of a description for police to find the person. After dinner, though, police found video of a car driving by the team yelling racial slurs and sexual comments. The team's coach talked about what happened in a press conference back in March.
No one knew how to handle it, and it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment, it's messed up.
Police figured out the person who yelled those slurs was an 18-year-old Post Falls high school student, Anthony Myers. From there, police looked into 3 potential charges for Myers: disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and malicious harassment. Prosecutors say malicious harassment has to have a, quote, intent to intimidate. According to investigators, Myers and the other people in the car say they were just trying to be funny. The city prosecutor says while it is, quote, absurd to think something like that is funny, it doesn't show that malintent. Plus, they say there was no believable threat of physical harm or property damage. As for the other 2 charges, the prosecutor says it comes down to speech versus conduct. They say Myers actually yelling out or revving an engine isn't loud or unusual on a busy street. The prosecutor says free speech makes it so they can't actually talk about what Myers said, so he says there's no chance of convincing a jury just yelling out the car window is tumultuous or offensive. In the end, the statement says the prosecutor's office is also upset and condemns speech like this, but is not going to criminally prosecute Myers. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
All right, so there's an update on the day's news that's going on so far at 12:04. Now time to turn our attention outside. We've had a pretty cool stretch of weather, but we're warming back up. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he is joining us in the KREM 2 Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what do you know?
Yeah, the tale of 2 extremes from last weekend to this upcoming weekend. And today and tomorrow we'll find ourselves right in the middle of it. Quite literally near average for these next 2 days. The sunshine feels great. We have plenty of fair weather cumulus clouds above our heads. And yes, our temperatures in the mid 50s as we hit this lunch hour today. Here is satellite and radar all clear for the inland northwest. If you're heading to the west side, there is a little bit of this onshore flow, so a smattering of some showers, especially along the western Cascade slope. So you'd have to get the Snoqualmie Pass, and then as you're going down the mountain, that is probably where most of the rain is going to be found for today across the northwest. Otherwise, a fairly stable weather pattern here. A little bit breezy, you might be hearing it on the microphone, but we are up to 61 for this afternoon, and it stays partly cloudy for this evening. But like I said, if last weekend was the cold weekend, this upcoming weekend is the near hot one. We're talking about temperatures in the 80s for multiple days. So coming up, I'll show you exactly how warm we're already forecasting and if it will be anywhere close to record highs by the weekend. Those details are coming up in a few minutes.
Thomas, thank you. Coming in new at noon, the woman at the center of former President Donald Trump's criminal trial took to the stand today. Stormy Daniels said she was paid to stay silent about an alleged sexual encounter with Trump prior to the 2016 election. These are some new sketches of her in court. Daniels said the two met at a golf tournament in 2006 and had sex, something that Trump denies. Michael George has a look at how her testimony could impact the trial.
Stormy Daniels is in the same room as former President Donald Trump, called to testify about payments she accepted as part of what prosecutors call a cover-up scheme ahead of the 2016 presidential election.
She can't say for sure, I know that this is what Trump intended.
Attorneys for the former president asked the judge to bar prosecutors from asking Daniels about sex. Judge Juan Merchan said Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, would be allowed to testify about the basic details of the encounter, an encounter Trump denies. Trump entered Manhattan Supreme Court Tuesday morning, calling the felony hush money trial unfair, and said there's no smoking gun.
That's what they're trying to get us on, the fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense.
His attorneys are expected to question the former adult film star's credibility.
What she's going to say is, in part, this is all about trying to make sure that the voters didn't hear what I wanted to say.
Trump also railed against the judge's gag order on his way into court, calling it unconstitutional, but made no mention of Daniels by name. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, if you have renewed your car insurance recently, you likely noticed that prices are indeed going up, but we wanted to know why.
We keep getting a lot of viewer emails asking what is driving up insurance rates, especially lately.
Yeah, they have gone up. We saw a notable spike last year.
Tonight on KREM 2 News at 6, our Verified team looks into the two main reasons we are paying so much more for car insurance, plus some upcoming changes that could make it easier for you to know when and why your insurance company is raising your rates. That is coming up tonight at 6 right here on KREM 2 News.